Hey kids, you're listening to the internet's wettest podcast about video games, consoles, and pancakes. The SML Podcast. Prepare for the SML Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML Podcast. I am your host. That's the kind of night it is. Fuck it, we're going. Aki's here, Bri's here, Ian is here. How's everyone doing?
Live and playing Doom, so okay.
Doing pretty good.
I'm doing a lot better now that the weather's finally tapered off.
Has it tapered off?
It's tapered off for you?
Yeah.
I'm jelly. I still have another 5 days of this bullshit.
Yeah.
It's still hell degrees here.
Yep.
I mean, it's still hot, but like the humidity has dropped off dramatically, which makes a world of difference for me.
Very lucky.
See, my city's right next to a major river, so we don't ever drop humidity.
Ugh.
I don't think I've ever seen below like 30% humidity at the absolute lowest. And I've seen it hit numbers that I don't think should be possible, but apparently they are, because I've seen it over 100%, and that just should mean that you're swimming. I don't understand how that shit works, because once you hit 100% humidity, that means 100% of water in the air. You should be swimming. I don't get it. But yeah, so no, it's felt like over 100 degrees every single day, and it will continue to until the 1st. I hate it.
Yay!
Yeah, and then it's just going to feel like it's in the 90s.
Gross.
So, yeah, no,
Like
summer
when people
here
were like, hey,
sucks.
we're going to MagFest or a Magstock this week. And I'm like, more power to you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even want to fucking check my mail.
Yeah, ain't that the fucking truth?
Like, we have 2 air conditioners going in the bedroom, and it's not enough with how hot our upstairs gets.
Oh, fuck that. I'd sleep in a goddamn chair at that point on the first floor. Fuck that.
She's been just napping on the couch. Like, I wish she would turn the light off or something. Every day I come down, the light's on, TV's on, she's passed out on the couch. Actually just went up to bed now. She's off tonight, don't worry. So yeah, no Jacob at this time. He'll be here, shrug, to do reviews, maybe, hopefully, we think. In the meantime...
Or maybe he's dead. Who knows?
I wish I had like a suspense noise. Soundboard. Instead, let's see, what's the best I could do?
That is definitely... Well, that's one type of suspense, I guess.
You sound stupid, you weird-looking bastard!
That's for Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, he'll be here, perhaps, we think. But in the meantime, Ian's hanging out with us. Doc Havok, how are you doing?
Well, like I said, I'm doing a lot better now that things have kind of cooled off a bit. Not much going on, but...
So jealous.
Yeah, but Bri's here too. Bri, It's your turn to talk. Go ahead.
It's my turn to talk.
Yeah, we'll get everyone involved.
I've been doing all of the adulting all week, so that's been a lot. And it's super boring to talk about, but
Does it involve laundry?
No.
What?
Actually, all of
That's
the
a for
adulting I
nothing.
did, and it didn't involve laundry. That's next week will involve lots of laundry. No, like, I went to a doctor today and got a shot. Yay.
No.
Yay.
No.
Yay.
No.
Yeah. Came home and I cooked a turkey.
Yay.
Nice.
I say in this heat. Oof.
Very good. Did you eat the turkey?
I ate some turkey and I had some gravy,
Sweet.
butter and garlic on it.
That's the happy ending we needed to that story.
Yeah.
I was in suspense when you said you cooked it. Like, it could be for someone else, so I don't know.
No, that's totally dinner for the next week.
Very good.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't want turkey now.
It was a good turkey. It was a very good turkey.
Hey, Ashley, should we make turkey?
You are a turkey.
He didn't reply. Damn.
The secret is you put a lemon inside the cavity. Cut a lemon open, and it gets all the lemoniness in it hydrates the turkey.
What if you take a lemon, you stick it in a duck, then you stick the duck in the chicken, then you take the chicken and stick that in the turkey.
Yeah. Yep.
Turkey into an emu.
Good luck getting an emu. Those things are. There are people that have
if you want to eat an emu, go for it. But
I was gonna say if you can get your hands on an emu, a country has lost a war with emus.
Not a war, multiple.
Yes.
And one of them, they had a fucking tank with a machine gun, and they still lost.
Yep, they had full-on Gatling guns, and they still couldn't take them down.
Emus taste good.
They probably taste like ostrich, so...
What Aki you just cut off?
Said they probably taste like ostrich, so meh. Probably not so much.
No, my audio cut off during a fucking show. Hold on.
Nope. There it goes. Can't
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
Oh,
welcome back. Can you hear us now?
Yeah. Just
okay,
out of nowhere,
probably doesn't.
You were talking, it crackled, and all my audio was gone. Everything.
Yeah, sounds like your headset is crapping out, and you might need a new one.
No, it's the mixer. Like, for some reason, the mixer I have doesn't play well with the motherboard I have, and it gets bitchy and just disconnects every now and then.
Huh.
And
Weird.
It's the brand, too, because my last mixer was the same brand. I tried a different mixer, and it only recorded in the left channel, which sucked.
Yep.
I couldn't even force it to mono, which sucked. So I went to this one, and now every now and then the audio goes out. And that's
Weird.
what happens. I don't know. We'll see how I edit that. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Just don't. Just keep it in. People deserve to know that, not
if there's a
it's not
long
always
gap,
perfect.
I gotta trim some of it.
I guess it's fair.
We don't need 30 seconds of silence. People are like, ooh, what's happening?
Joe's getting his shit fixed, Joe.
Yeah, they're just sitting there.
I mean, it works. Works less.
Yeah.
And doesn't work at all.
Good job, drug addicts.
Yeah, there we go. Anything anyone want to talk about, or should we dive into some news stories?
Let's dive into the news.
Ian, anything you want to talk about?
No.
Nothing? How's streaming going?
That's going all right. Well, I was kind of under the weather last couple of days. But,
Sorry to hear that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, apparently I ate something that kind of disagreed with me in a not very cool kind of way, and it laid me up for about a day and a half.
Ew.
That sucks.
Fun.
Yeah. The weird part is I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But
I would say that shocks me, but it kind of doesn't.
well,
Mystery
I mean,
signals,
I've had food poisoning before, and usually I can, given how long it takes to kick in, I can trace it back to a likely suspect. But this kicked in hours after I had the last, item to eat, and it's something that I eat fairly regularly. So,
That's where it always gets you. That's where it always gets you. The shit that you're like, oh, this is obviously safe. I get it all the time. That's where you get fucked.
yeah.
It's never the shit like, oh, this looks like this could be not good. Let's try it anyways. No, it's always the shit you're like, I eat this all the time. It's fine.
Yeah.
They're never fine. Never trust it. Never.
Well, the last time I got it was at MagFest, and Joe was there to see that. That was like years ago. I had some leftovers from the night before that apparently did not keep very well, and God, that fucking wrecked me. But anyways,
this is where people get like epically sick. Like if you're going to get sick at MagFest, you don't half-ass it.
No.
That's tradition going back to the early days.
I just remember at one point, I think I asked you and or Maze Dude for like a bottle of water because I needed to put something in my stomach because I was heaving like clockwork every 10 minutes on the minute.
Oh yeah, drive heaving sucks. I'd rather vomit. Yeah, fair.
And with that wonderful image in mind, how's that turkey?
I guess we could dive into news then. Yeah. There are widespread talks that Microsoft is gearing up for another round of layoffs. There's talk of entire studios being targeted. Turn 10 is allegedly concerned of what's going down. And there's rumblings of a potential casualty count of 1,000 to 2,000 people.
Jesus.
Yep.
None of this has come to fruition as of when we are recording Thursday night. But if anything updates in the next week, you'll hear it on next week's show because we don't do special episodes and we don't give a fuck. You know, we have lives.
I mean, that's a lie, but sure.
Shut up. Just go with it.
Okay. If it makes you feel better.
Some of the time.
What do you think? More layoffs? Really?
I think it's ridiculous. If you buy all these companies, you should make sure you have the fucking money to keep the companies around, and you should put them to fucking work.
It's probably more along the lines of we're buying these companies under the weird expectation that they're going to make us money hand over fist, and when they don't, they're clearly not worth holding on to. Air quotes.
Yeah, probably.
Do you see any potential targets? I mean, Turn 10 is being rumored. I know after a rocky launch, things are apparently in better shape now with Forza Motorsport. And Horizon is a playground property at this point.
Yeah. I don't know. When I had read, I think Bloomberg was one of the places reporting the potential layoffs. The term company reorganization was thrown around, so could be across multiple, I don't know, parts of the organization.
Yeah, the only part that ever really needs it, though, are, the high-ranking people who never get fucking fired, who take up, 60% of all the goddamn money.
Well, clearly it's not their fault.
Yeah.
Everything is their fault.
No. It's a matter of perspective.
I don't know. It's just, I'm worried we're going to lose someone good here.
Yeah.
The last time this happened, Tango was chopped, and Arcane, Austin, was it Austin? Was chopped, or
so.
Lion? I don't know, one of them. One of the Arcane studios was killed. And I'm worried that, South of Midnight didn't set the world on fire. Later compulsion.
Yeah.
Don't even joke. Ugh, that would suck. That was a great game.
But it's a realistic concern at this point.
Yeah. Honestly, to be frank, anyone is a realistic concern at this point, because Hi-Fi Rush, as I'm pretty sure you already mentioned, that's gone. They made a spectacular game that did gangbusters and still got let go. I don't trust anyone's not on the chopping block, because they don't seem to really care who gets put on the chopping block. It feels like they kind of just throw darts at a fucking board and say, oh, it landed on this company, they're gone.
No.
Yeah, it sucks. Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. All these rumors are right now still just that, rumors. So until anything officially comes through, let's just hope for the best.
I can attempt that.
Yeah.
For a short period of time.
Let's keep the bad news rolling. Hytale from Hypixel Studio, which was said to be the true spiritual successor to Minecraft, is canceled after a decade of nothing.
I didn't even remember that existed, so oof.
Yeah.
Huh. I was gonna say I haven't heard about that game either.
It was apparently, I don't know if it started off as a fan project, but it was hyped up to be the true, like, the spiritual successor, doing the things Minecraft just would never do. And they never got a demo out. They never released an alpha. They just winding down, and now it's done.
Right.
So, yay. Super Mario Strikers is hitting GameCube Online for the Switch 2 on Nintendo Online service. Launches July 3rd. So joins the library then.
Oh.
Anything I noticed with the GameCube library, at least on the Switch 2, is it shows American and European versions of games.
Nifty.
Yeah. It's like the European Wind Waker's there, the European Soul Calibur's there. It's weird, but
man, I forgot about that franchise. It's like, whatever happened to Soul Calibur?
It's still going. They made one, I think, on the Xbox One.
I don't know what the last one was.
Because I remember there was one that came out that was very... I don't want to go so far as to say it was panned, but it wasn't received very well for some or many reasons, and then the franchise just kind of fell off the map for me. And then all of a sudden, it's like every time I see it, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I wonder whatever happened to that.
I can't even guesstimate which one that would have been. Because I feel like there's been a couple times where people have been like, to a Soul Cal game, so.
Yeah.
6 came out in 2018.
Oh damn, I thought there was one a little more recent than that.
Did they do the thing where they like, I'm trying to think. Like, I want to say, did they do the thing kind of like Killer Instinct where they released like only a couple of characters and then the rest of them were like DLCs you had to pay for or something goofy like that?
I don't think so. That doesn't sound like anything they've done.
Okay. I might be confusing it with a different fighting franchise then.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I know Dead or Alive did that, didn't they?
Yeah. Dead or Alive does a lot of stuff like that.
Okay,
if you want all the character colors and outfits and shit for that stuff, you're looking at 3 or 4 times the price of the base game.
If I want to fight the world's strongest, wearing a bikini made out of fishing line and bottle caps,
you're gonna pay for it.
It's how it's got to be. It's how it's got to be.
Yeah.
Got to do what God's calling you to do, right?
Yep.
I don't think that's God, but sure.
Little Nightmares 3. Little Nightmares 3 was announced to be releasing October 10th, and a Switch 2 version was confirmed as well. On top of that, Little Nightmares Enhanced Edition will be releasing alongside of that game, but if you pre-order Little Nightmares 3, you get instant access to Little Nightmares Enhanced Edition.
Yay.
Base game's $40, Deluxe Edition $60.
Not bad.
So there you go. And you're getting a second free game with it, so rock on.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Chained Echoes is getting the Ashes of Elrant DLC this summer as it releases on all platforms August 7th. We'll offer a new land to explore, over 40 new monsters and bosses, new music, including something for the turtle music fans, and a fishing minigame that is apparently not that mini. I know Chris is very excited about this one.
I'm pretty excited about it too. I never finished the original game, but I enjoyed what I played of it.
Finesse.
Turtle music forever.
To go back to it. I mean, yeah, Turtle Metal was amazing.
I wish I could put that as an entire sound clip on a soundboard.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be so fun. That would be obnoxious. True Achievements revealed the latest list of games that join the Stream Your Own game library on xCloud. We don't normally cover these, but of note, Gothic Classic, game that is not announced.
Cool.
Yeah.
Spit the beans.
I will buy the fuck out of that. I love the Gothic games. I believe that's been on Switch for a while. Might be a shadow drop from THQ Nordic sometime soon. So, surprise, motherfuckers.
Yay.
Metaphor Refantasio has hit 2 million units moved.
Very nice.
Rematch has hit 1 million sales and over 2.5 million players through Game Pass and purchases and all that.
Cool. I'm glad that's doing well.
Our friends Big Adam and Matt PA have been playing that literally all night during wrestling. Yeah, that's why they needed me to
people
stream.
are vibing with it. I'm just glad people are vibing with it. I wasn't sure how well that was going to do.
Yeah,
at least
I'm
in the
happy
US
it's doing well. So,
yeah.
This I put in here mainly for Jacob. I thought he would get a kick out of this, but Konami announced Dylan Sprouse, better known for Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, is the new Shadow Duelist Baron Bloodthorn in the latest Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel tournament.
Huh.
I figured Jake would come in with some weird, obscure news to piggyback off that, or like some weird fact about Sweet Life.
You know, it is him. That is a very fair thought process.
The one time that we needed Jacob.
He lives to disappoint.
You disappoint me. Last bit of news I have is another disappointment. Humble Monthly is going up in price to $14.99 a month with $154.99 for the year. Bad news gets worse because even grandfathered old accounts are going up to $14.99.
That's some bullshit.
Shame.
Yep. So, yeah. I guess I'll see in 5 days what the new month looks like, and if it sucks,
Yeah.
I haven't grabbed a month of that in a few months now, I think. I only get it a couple times a year because lots of the games I either have or I'm absolutely uninterested in.
No. I just think it's nice to expand your horizons and find some stuff I wouldn't normally play in a bundle and be like, let me try it. And it turns out to be neat.
Yeah, see, the problem
like how
with
I make
this
you
is
review games you wouldn't normally cover on this. Like, I know everybody on this show has loved their time with Tour de France.
Yeah.
Was I supposed to play a game called Tour de France?
I could have sworn I made you do it one year.
I don't think so. That's a biking game, right?
Yeah.
Are they historically known as bad games or something?
Not necessarily, but it's not something you would normally play.
Oh, fair.
It's not something fucking anyone in the history of this show would normally play. But a lot of people covered it. We covered it a bunch of years in a row. Hey, those early days, you threw a game at us, we're fucking covering it.
Yeah, now we get too many thrown at us. It's hard to get to them all. Because even though we have no lives, we still have things we need to do sometimes. Occasionally, it happens.
Yeah, it's weird. Gross.
Yeah, exceptionally.
Aki, what news do you have?
I live to be a disappointment too. I have none.
Nothing at all?
Nothing.
I thought you would have I thought either you or Jacob would have that fan game Halo, that Halo Spartan, or not Halo, but Spartan whatever, some fan game that got the okay from Microsoft to use assets from Halo as long as they don't use the name Halo.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
No, I had no.
For Thimber to chime in with
that's
it.
Awesome.
And chat in like
That's
10
an
seconds.
interesting loophole.
Apparently, it's something in their terms that they, if there's like no profit involved, and you're not explicitly using the name Halo, they'll just kind of like give their approval or look the other way. And they went through the proper channels to get direct approval from Microsoft for the project, and looks like it's going down. So,
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
what is it? One up. Why can't articles just have the fucking title at the top? Spartan Survivors, it is called. Fourth paragraph down. Love it.
That's cool.
So, Vampire Survivors style game with a Halo themed coat of paint.
Nice.
And they advertise as they're coming to Steam, mobile, and Xbox. So, that's neat.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, Xbox getting the true exclusives.
Hey, I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah, true. Bri, any news on your end?
Yeah, I got a couple pieces, but I forgot, and I should have talked about this earlier. An 11-year-old boy said I was cool, and that made my day. Yeah.
I mean, you are.
And I know it was real and not like ironic or whatever, because he told his mom that he thought I was cool. So
That's how you know it's good.
That's how you know it's legit. All right. I helped him find some books to read. It was very cool.
Yeah.
All right. But no, instead of building their own, Xbox has partnered with MetaQuest to make an Xbox Edition VR system. It costs $400, comes with a VR Touch Plus controller or a pair, limited edition Xbox controller, 3 months of Meta Horizon, 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate. Quantities are extremely limited, and when they're gone, they're gone. I think someone I saw in the Discord already bought a set.
I believe it was Apex.
Apex, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, posted pictures. They collect like all the controllers too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Insanity.
very cool items get posted on the Discord from us and fellow collectors. Yay.
Yeah, not my thing, but pretty exciting that there's going to be, VR available on Xbox finally.
No, it's not on Xbox.
Right.
It's still a MetaQuest that they have an Xbox app on MetaQuest that lets you play Game Pass games on a big ass screen.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But unfortunately,
Because
there's still no
everything's an Xbox.
actual console series support. My other gripe with this is that it's priced at $399 with 128 gig of memory. Their normal 128 is $299. You're paying an extra $100 for the name, the Game Pass, and the controller.
Yeah.
I wish they would have had a 256 option, which is normally $399, but shrug. Yeah, and there's no way to expand the memory on those things, which sucks.
Yeah.
Like I've been eyeing one up because I want to get more physical with gaming. I don't want to get another PlayStation VR because their cord is not good because we have cats.
Yep.
And I trip on things easily, but I don't know. 128 gig is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Gross.
So yeah, my only other news is more bad news.
Of course.
Don't Nod is laying off an unknown number of staff from its Montreal office.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Apparently some of their projects didn't do so well, and they're laying off some people.
That sucks.
I think I heard something that Stoic Studio, the team working on Towerborn for Xbox, had to lay off 8 people. Some possibly related to Towerborn. I don't know. But layoffs suck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not good. Ian, any kind of gaming news you'd want to talk about?
Not really.
Any games you're looking forward to?
Let me think. I probably have to look at my Steam wish list. Well, but strangely enough, no. I've been kind of out of the loop on stuff and things. I mean, the Steam Summer Sale just started up, so...
Yeah, I already bought some stuff off of it.
Oh, what'd you buy?
Porn games.
What non-porn games did you buy? Nothing.
No, I bought... Oh, wait, no, that was right before the sale. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few games on my wish list that are up and coming, but chances are I'm probably going to pick up RoboCop Rogue City because that's like 90% off. It's on sale for like literally like $5. Actually, no, might be close, somewhere around the $5 to $9. Either way, like under $10 for a game like that is like shut up and take my money. Let's see. I did doodle around with a beta for Jump Ship, which was kind of fun. A co-op space game. Let's see. What else have I've been trying to keep tabs on?
Aki, anything else on the sale that you're looking at while he's checking out his list? What's on the sale that has your...
I wasn't looking at it. I've been looking at a Gun Plus sale, games. Actually. Yeah, basically.
Bri, anything on Steam that has your eye? I'm not sure if you're following the Steam sale or not.
I'm not following the Steam sale. I don't tend to buy a lot of games on Steam because I don't end up playing them because I'm consumed with, gamer score hunting, achievement hunting.
Very true.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to Final Fantasy VII Remake, though, when it finally gets here.
It's definitely one to look forward to. I'm looking at Shadows Over Loathing is down to $15 on Steam. It's a really good one. And then the DLC for Gauntlet for Lilith the Necromancer is $150. I might finally bite the bullet on that one.
What's that game about?
It's Gauntlet. It's just hack and slash.
Yep, the OG dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look up Gauntlet. God damn. Dark Legacy. Look up that one. That's a good indicator of the peak.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Dark Legacy. That was the console port though, wasn't it?
I think that was in arcade as well too. I think that was the one you could pop a memory card in.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny because I had this conversation with someone else about it, and it's one of those weird things where there's like the first Gauntlet one, like not the OG like DOS fucking game, but like there was the big arcade Gauntlet, and then there was a sequel, and then there was one with a subtitle that was like a remaster of one, and then there's another one that was like a console port of this one, which was a remake of that one, and it's fucking weird. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up now. Because I remember we couldn't keep half of it straight because we couldn't remember which was called what. All right, hold on. Let's see. Scroll.
Gauntlet was fun though.
Okay, Gauntlet
the
Legends.
Main game is going for on Steam right now.
Yeah, there's Gauntlet Legends, and then the sequel to that was Dark Legacy. Okay, there we go. Legends is the one I always keep forgetting about.
The game is $3 right now. Or you could buy a 4-pack for $6.
Man, that's some big spending right there.
Yeah, buddy. Good deal. Especially because it's online. Or the remote play or whatever they do on Steam. You can play with friends somehow. You need to play it one day.
Yeah. Oh, so the DLC is for the Slayer edition. Gotcha. Okay. Just making sure I'm getting the Gauntlet franchise. Words are hard.
Gauntlet franchise, man.
It's like say that 5 times fast.
Words are hard. That's why I try not to do them too much. Coltrane's on my lap. Hi, baby. What do you need? You need attention in the middle of the show? That's what you're doing right now?
It's free real estate.
Yeah. Ian's very familiar with the cats here.
Yeah.
Bri's familiar with them. Ian's really familiar with them.
Yep.
Ian has seen cats that don't get seen.
Yeah. Like I've earned special visitation privileges with the more elusive kitties.
Craziness.
I think I still have a picture of Coltrane snoozing on my luggage when I came down one year for MagFest. It's like we're getting ready to go, and I go to grab my bag, and Coltrane's just all curled up, cozy as fuck on my bag.
Yeah,
it's like,
baby.
It's like, hey there, sweetie. I hate to be a dick, but I can't take you with me.
I wouldn't let
and
you.
then she gives you that
you before you got 2 steps towards the door. If you had my baby Coltrane in your arms, I'd kill him, motherfucker. He's my baby. You could have Punk or Predator.
Nah, Predator. Oh man, I'd grab the squirt bottle so fast for Predator.
Oh. She really likes the smell of new McDonald's chicken strips. So every time I get them, she's like just clawing my leg. Please give. I need, and I have to just smack her constantly. No.
Yeah, she has addiction
Every time
issues.
I bring Taco Bell home, Teak jumps up on my desk and tries to stick her nose in my taco. It's
Love
very
it.
annoying.
So, should we get the reviews?
Yeah.
Aki, okay?
Yeah, I will be.
Uh-huh.
Awkward silence. Just waiting for another Aki laugh. All right, first game to talk about tonight is FBC Firebreak, developed and published by Remedy, released June 17th on Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC for $39.99. Deluxe edition available for $49.99. The game is also available via PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. FBC Firebreak is a cooperative first-person shooter set within a mysterious federal agency under assault by otherworldly forces. As a years-long siege on the agency's headquarters reaches its boiling point, only Firebreak, the Bureau's most versatile unit, has the gear and the guts to plunge into the building's strangest crisis, restore order, and blast their way back from the brink. Bri and Aki, both of you covered this one. Bri, start us off. What is FBC Firebreak?
So this is set in the world of the game Control. Quick primer if you haven't played, is that there's a secretive organization called the Federal Bureau of Control that manages supernatural anomalies within a place known as the Oldest House, and the enemies there are called the Hiss. In FBC Firebreak, you're part of the Firebreak crisis response teams that help battle the toughest and strangest supernatural assaults. When you start, you pick a crisis kit. You get a fix kit, a jump kit, or a splash kit. You can change it freely between jobs or at certain points during a job, like in the elevator. Fix kit is good for solving problems by hitting things with a massive wrench. Your jump kit is electricity-based and focused on field control and positioning. Splash kits are good for putting out literal fires and manipulating conditions affecting crewmates and enemies. You basically go around fixing things like generators. If you have a kit that matches the symbol on the item, you can quick fix it. If you don't, there's a mini game where you press bumpers rapidly as they're displayed on the screen, and then you can put out fires, repair showers, grab ammunition, and more during those mini games too. In matches, you get to decide your threat level or combat intensity. It's easy, normal, hard, or extreme, and whether or not you want to play with corruption, which is extra modifiers. Clearance adjusts the length of the mission, and there are 3 clearance levels to start, and then you add corruption modifiers for extra challenge. The corruption modifiers are cursed objects.
There are more clearances as you continue through the game. I think it goes up to at least 6, because there's an achievement for beating it on 6.
Yeah. But the corruption modifiers are cursed objects that do things like affect gravity. And then the settings change the types of rewards you earn and those points you get use for getting perks and requisitions to build up your character. One of the currencies is report folders and briefcases, which is shared amongst the crew. There's also research samples, I can say that word, that you'll need for upgrading certain things that are not shared. You can customize the look of your character, change your loadouts on the main menu. I think there are still Twitch drops going on if you want to earn some cool cosmetics. Otherwise, you buy new cosmetics in the requisitions tab of your main screen. Other requisitions are guns and grenades and other upgrades like a movable boombox for your jump kit or a placeable humidifier for healing your teammates with a splash kit. And for some reason, you have the ability to express yourself in missions by tagging the oldest house with spray graffiti, which you have to do at least 100 times for an achievement.
I did not know that.
Yes. Team strategy is necessary. While together you have a kind of shield, but also knowing who is good at what based on their kit is helpful. When dealing with a lot of fire, you really want someone with a splash kit to be around to help heal the team and keep the flames off of you. Stuff like that. There's a pretty generous... Yeah, go ahead.
For the kits, earlier it was mentioned how there's these little mini games that pop up, and it's basically just tapping the left and right bumper buttons quickly in the proper order in order to start these things up. Different kits can also skip some of these things. Like if you need to repair something, if you have the repair kit, you just whack it with a wrench and it fixes it. If you need to put out a fire, you can either play that little mini game, or if you're one of the water person, I forgot what it's called.
Splash kit.
It's a splash kit.
Mermaid.
You can just spray water on it.
Nothing.
Oh.
Said mermaid.
And for things like turning on lights, restarting the showers, or restarting the ammo areas, you can use the electric one instead to just completely bypass the little mini game. And you have to do that 100 times with each character for achievements as well.
Yeah.
So So it's good to have one of each, because you can only play 3 people total. So it's nice to have one of each type, just so that you don't actually have to play the little mini games if you don't want to. Just so things move a lot faster, because a couple whacks of my wrench were like 10 seconds doing that little mini game. The wrench is faster, and it's the same for all the other things. It's so much faster if you just have someone with the right kit that do the right job.
Yep.
Just kind of the point of the game.
Yeah, and that's part of why the team communication is really helpful, necessary, because you can ping things and call out like, all right, I need someone with this kit over here, or everybody split up and find the best way to do it, or come together and work in tandem. There's a really generous downtime for reviving your teammates, which was really helpful, because you do have based on your difficulty level, you have a max number of lives, and it's less the higher the difficulty, and that those lives are for your team, not the individual. There are showers, as we've mentioned, because supernatural shit is hot and you get set on fire from it. It's also important to control the heat and fires because it boosts the health and damage of your enemies. So splash kit's really important to have in your team. And keep the showers working. That's also really important. You have perks that permanently upgrade your character with things like longer sprint. You also have 9 perks assigned at once. Eventually, you have to open that up. So until then, you have to juggle what you really want for each kit.
And you can upgrade the abilities as well.
Yes, they have 3 levels for most of them.
Some of them have significantly more than that. I think the sprinting one, has 9.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's insane.
There are categories of perks for each individual player and crew: effects, bullets, utility, and enemy stuff. Requisitions are like weapon upgrades and grenades and stuff. I think I already mentioned that. Once you complete the objectives, you have to extract through the elevator, which has a timer on it, and will have waves of enemies to defend against. There are currently 5 available missions that you unlock over time. The first mission, Hot Fix, is where everything is on fire. And if you do clearance level 3, you have these barrels to load up with black rock and feed them into a furnace to stop it from going off. Level 2 is Paper Chase, where you kill Post-it notes. No, really. The primary objective is to stop the nasty little fuckers from overtaking you. And instead of worrying about fire, you have to use the shower to wet the notes and make them docile so you can shake them off or they'll consume you. If you kill enough sticky notes, you can head to the elevator. Sounds simple.
That's weird.
Depending on the clearance level, there's a big boss that's just post-it notes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the funny thing about this is that, like, if you've never played Control, this sounds absolutely ludicrous. But if you have played Control,
it makes so much sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, geez, post-it notes. Oh, God. Oh.
Almost everything in this game has some form of something that can attach to you and either kill you or take you over. Post-it notes, when they take you over, you actually become an enemy and you have to respawn. They can't save you at that point. There's also a goo in another level.
Level 4 has the battling the living pink slime, and you have to remove it from turbines to keep the place working. But the slime attaches to you, and you have to either melee it off your teammates or take a long shower.
And if it consumes you, it also turns you into an enemy. So that's fun.
In the third level, ground control, you have to find radioactive pearls and get them back to the Black Rock refinery by pushing a cart. And of course, then you're dealing with radioactive damage and you have to clean the radiation off of you. Water from the splash kit and showers is like totally essential in that level.
Out of all of them, that's the level I absolutely hate. I do not like that one at all.
Yeah. And then the fifth level is about ice anomalies, and you get to carry around heaters in a cool environment that freezes your ass off. Yeah.
It's fun.
And you unlock each of the missions by completing clearance level 3 on the mission before it. There's only so much variety in the levels so far, but it looks like the kind of game where they'll add missions over time. Multiplayer with friends is easy for multi-platforms. You can generate a friend code if they're on another platform. Like we played with Lloyd on PlayStation. And it was easy to add friends on Xbox. You can just use the invite, a friend. There were a few instances, when players were dropped from the match, but it wasn't egregious. It was
mostly happening to me, and it was probably my Xbox just still needs the cleaning, as I mentioned earlier today, even, I think.
Public matchmaking is automatically on. You have to turn it off quickly and pay attention to that, or you'll end up getting like randos in your lobby while you're trying to invite your friends. But you can also, like I said, you can turn that off quickly. You can also completely turn off cross-platform matchmaking in the settings if you choose. There are some Doom things, so many times achievements, and good news, the achievement tracker works. Tutorial, really minimal. I learned more by doing. It helped that I started the game with people who had played at least one round or two before I did to help fill in some gaps. It also helped that there are elements of the game I was familiar with, from the safe rooms and control to the generator repair to the extraction elevator. Like, these were tasks I could grasp easily because I'd played other things with similar elements. And the button schemes felt pretty natural for the shooter genre.
I would definitely say, because I'm going to cut in because we've been basically just talking just the semantics of the game. I want to actually touch on some things I liked and didn't like. And I'm going to touch on the things I didn't like first because I'm me. The lack of tutorial kind of isn't great because it does leave you confused on what's happening. Because there was I didn't even realize that the other abilities could start up, like how I told you, if the shower isn't on or the ammo thing isn't on, you can just electrocute them. I didn't know that until like 4 or 5 games in, because it never mentions anything like that.
Right.
And that kind of really sucks because you don't know what exactly is happening. And another issue I have, which is going to be a player by player thing, I guess, is there's friendly fire on at all times. There's no turning it off. And that sucks ass, especially since it's if you're alone, it's very easy to die from just enemies swarming you. And when you're together, where it's the most dangerous, you get a little bit stronger of a shield so you can all fight against enemies. However, if you shoot each other, you're still getting fucked. There's also some abilities.
It's a real issue to me.
Yeah, it's not. There's also some abilities that you can get to make it to where, like, these are later game abilities, by the way, not super beginner friendly stuff, but like there's one that allows you to use your repair items like my wrench, the water splasher, electric gun, all that stuff as weapons, just for when you run out of ammo, because you will run out of ammo, and allow them to do more damage. Well, if someone with a splash gets that, you're fucked. Because now they can no longer use their water to help anybody, because it's just going to kill them. And so they really need to, like, set the ability of the turn off friendly fire. Because no one's ever played a game and been like, oh, I love friendly fire, it's so amazing. No, friendly fire can occasionally be funny. It usually just blows donkey dick. And in this game, it kind of blows donkey dick. Which really is a shame. Because otherwise, I really liked it. I know, Joe, I know it didn't jive with you.
Shut up.
Fuck lore accuracy. We're fighting zombies. I don't need lore accuracy. We're fighting post-it note people, all right? I'm good. I don't need to be able to get shot in the back of the head by an ally. Especially...
Y'all been talking about the game for a while. We gotta sum things up here.
Fair.
Yeah.
Any other significant highs or lows you want to nail before?
Yeah, I got one thing. Like, I had a really fun time. It's action packed. You know, there's a good amount of thought and strategy required, team communications, all that good stuff. We did have one glitch that happened more than once, where we set the level to normal difficulty, and somehow it seemed like it ended up on extreme with corruption anomalies. I definitely did not set for the mission select. We ended up having to bail on that mission after Aki disconnected for the second time. But yeah, that happened more than once. So
yeah, on the easiest difficulty, I don't think you're supposed to actually have a chance at corruption. On all the others, there is a chance, but on easy, there's not supposed to be. That's why we're calling it a glitch. I have figured out how to fix that, or, well, not fix the issue, but get rid of the corruptions at least. So if it happens again, I know how to deal with it at least. But again, the game doesn't tell you how.
Yeah, it really doesn't. Yeah, there's not currently, like I said, a ton of variety on the maps. You only have the 5 scenarios with increasing difficulty.
And all the enemies are basically the same. In every map, you might get a unique one, but that's overwhelmingly the same guys.
Yeah.
God damn it, I did this.
You said it. Fuck. You did it to yourself.
You did this to yourself.
Confused.
Rather than straight action all the time, there's puzzle elements to deal with, which I liked. Learning that you can combine forces with your teammates on, like, the sticky note level to kill them with water and lightning kit was kind of a revelation. Keeps you from needing to reload ammo so much. Like, there's just a lot of fun things to do with this game, and I had a really great time with it.
So did I.
Despite its issues.
All right, well, let's talk price. It is a $40 game, or it is available as both PlayStation Plus and Game Pass Ultimate. What are your thoughts on Firebreak?
It's a buy it for me. And if you're on the fence, like, give it a try on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus. The more people who play, the more fun we can have.
Very true.
I think it's definitely worth playing. I think you should probably play it on Game Pass for now until it gets more content and some more updates. Then I think it'll probably be worth buying. Right now, $40 for 5 levels that's an awful lot of an ask, considering you can beat those in each one in like 20-ish minutes. So it's a little hard pressed to say, yeah, go buy the game. I would play it on the Game Pass or PS Plus or whatever the fuck it's called for now until I get some more stuff out.
Literally both. So yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Game Pass and Plus.
All right. Nice.
Sounds good. This is something I would like to try getting back into, just because I want to support more online co-op games. Like, this isn't PvPvE. Like, this is PvE. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate the shit out of that, because if I had to fight against other fucking people in this, I would have immediately said deny it. I am so tired of games like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I support
I've always
the
enjoyed like
existence of
finding
games
good
like this.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed playing like good co-op type stuff and things. And it's hard to find a good one that isn't like a passing fad.
Yeah, that'll be an important decider on this game, is if it has longevity. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be in Plus and Game Pass for at least a year each.
Yeah, I would like
longer.
to come. I'd like to come back to this in like 6 months and just see how it's going at that point. See what they've added, what it looks like, how many people are still playing it. I'd love to see that in 6 months.
Yeah.
All right, put it in
I'll
your
be playing it
calendar.
until I 100% it. Okay.
Put it in your calendar. We'll be back after this.
Yes,
Next game, Tron Catalyst, developed by Bithell Games, published by Big Fan Games and Devolver Digital, released June 17th, Series X and S, PS5 and PC for $24.99. The Arc Grid stands on the brink of collapse. With your identity, disk, and light cycle, fight to escape by wielding the power of the glitch loop. Electrifying action and a rich story combined in a new adventure set within Disney's iconic Tron universe. Ian, what is going on in Tron Catalyst?
It's like that little plot synopsis sounds way more intriguing than what I ended up seeing.
No.
I honestly really wanted to give this a try, or give it a chance, give it the benefit of the doubt, because I've been a long time, fan of Tron, and unfortunately my review is not going to be very glowing, and it's not necessarily because diehard nostalgia kind of thing or anything like that. It's just, the last Tron game I played was 2.0 back in 2001, 2002.
In ye olden days.
Yeah. And so, hey, let's see where Tron games are sitting now. And it's basically an isometric, action kind of game. And I think I'll try to break this down into like, two elements, like the narrative and story stuff, and then like the mechanics and the nuts and bolts of the thing. So, yeah, let's see, because I even have this little blurb that I wrote up, but like, it's like I'm tempted to read it just to give you an example of what I had to deal with, but I'm also worried that I don't want to accidentally spoil anything. But there's no context whatsoever to how I wrote this, which is kind of how the game presents a lot of shit to you. And reading it over, it's not really spoilers, because like once you, here, I'll just read it. You play as Exo. A package blew up and now you have a glitch which makes you loop. So Khan wants Exo to join him because he wants to become more powerful, because Tacitus is enacting the Specials master plan, but Oracle is more important since Resist doesn't like Core, Vega is super edgy, and Automata is full of weird anti-user hating hippies who think Flynn is a douchebag. So they're just sitting around being magenta and whining about their parallels.
All of that made
impressive.
almost as much sense as calling someone a magenta. So, I don't think you...
Now, here's the thing. You're experiencing what I felt for the first hour of gameplay. When I started playing this and all this shit started getting dropped, like my initial reaction is, I feel like I just started watching a series at the third episode and no one is explaining any context whatsoever. Because unfortunately, in my not so humble opinion, this game has probably one of the most inorganic world building I've ever seen. Like, I'm usually a fan of show don't tell.
Yeah.
And a lot of times there's tell don't show. What this game does is that it tells you to look everything up in a codex glossary. So when people start talking about shit and you have no idea what any of this stuff is, the game will put up, hey, check out the glossary. And you go to this like ghetto wiki where it gives you like this little synopsized blurb about people, places, locations, events, stuff, and things. And then you just have to kind of put the puzzle pieces together and figure out what the fuck is going on.
You know who I think did a really good job with that? Avowed.
Avowed.
Because there was a lot of connections to Pillars of Eternity. And when they would make references in the game, a word would be highlighted. You could just hit a button and a little pop-up goes up on screen of what the hell that means.
Yeah.
That's
handy. The only time I've seen something like that work is not because, like, and this is going way back, but like Final Fantasy Tactics. The story, but not to get too off on a tangent, the story behind that is like basically Game of Thrones Final Fantasy Edition. There are so many political factions, so many characters, so much shit going on, things being juggled around. These guys are friends with those guys, now they're enemies with those guys, that you kind of need that little glossary to keep tabs on things. So if you run into someone, you're like, wait, I don't remember who this guy was. Let's see, Steve of this. Okay, so he did that. Okay, no. But here, it just feels lazy. It's like, it's like, hey, they're talking about this one group of people, like, they're assuming you already know who they are. And you don't. So it's like, okay, well, if you don't know who they are, look it up in the codex. Look it up in the codex. Look it up in the codex. And it populates it on the fly. Because I don't know, because I know Magritte raided me one night when I was playing, but she had to hit the sack. And I remember you were there, Joe. But there was this one instance where all of a sudden I had this quest to find these two people. And I have no idea who the fuck these two people are. I don't even know how I triggered the quest. So I went and found them, and they're just sitting there having this random ass conversation out in the middle of nowhere. And I literally told my chat that I was streaming, it's like, I know about as much as these two people as you do, and you guys literally just raided in. I have no idea what the hell these guys are on about, but anyways. Man. And that's and the weird thing that gets me is that I kind of glanced at a couple other reviews, and these people like talk about this sweeping plot line to the point where I'm like, did you guys just headcanon a lot of shit, or did we play two completely different games? But anyways, it's not too hard getting a handle on the plot because it's a pretty basic plot. I mean, you have a bunch of evil fascists versus a bunch of punk rebels, and you play the character who's the key to everything. And that's not really a spoiler because in some form or another, every significant character you meet pretty much tells you this. And one of the main antagonists almost lampshades the fact that you have plot armor. And I would have given points if they actually leaned into that. But anyways, yeah, like narratively speaking, like your character doesn't really seem to have any depth or like, I don't want to say presence, but it's like you don't really know anything about them aside from what they're doing in the immediate moment. Like they don't really seem to have any narrative agency aside from doing everything and anything that everybody tells them to, except for the bad guys, because fuck them. Like your character is a courier, and apparently she's been operating in this city for a while, but like she has absolutely no friends, she has no connections, she has no social network. Everyone she runs into is a complete stranger to her, and it just feels really weird. I mean, like I said, it you always feel like you're perpetually missing something, that you didn't quite catch. Let's see, and there are cutscenes and there is voice acting and all that stuff. And to their credit, the voice actors, do a really good job with what they have to work with. But sometimes the dialogue is really stilted, wooden. It just seems kind of weird. Like there's this one part where one of the bad guys is like passionately yelling and raging and all this and that. And it's like, why are you so fucking pissed? Like, I don't believe our interactions up to this point has warranted this amount of rage. But anyways, and also, and I'm going to be very careful how I phrase this, because there is something that I'm not allowed to mention because of reasons. And it's a damn good thing that you warned me about that, Joe, because I would not have recognized it, or assuming I've found that particular item. Because I haven't finished the game, but I'm pretty sure I'm like about 85% through it. And I think I know what it is that they were talking about. And if that's the case, I'm glad you warned me, because I would have mentioned that inadvertently to bitch about it.
Oh no. Well, we'll discuss that privately.
Yeah, later. I can tell you about that off air. But to get into the mechanics, the combat in and of itself is pretty simple. You have a 3-hit combo system, you have a charge attack, there's a dodge, and there's a parry. The only problem with this is that there's an ability you can pick up that is a parry counter. So basically, someone starts winding up, you get a little visual cue, you hit the parry button, you parry the attack, you attack back, and this ability basically lets you one-shot them. Once you have this ability, virtually the rest of your small-ass skill tree is completely pointless. You can rock the entire game exclusively using this parry counter.
Wow.
Period. And there are instances where I run into characters that come off as mini bosses. It's like, oh, hey, here's a new super type of bad guy. These guys are even trickier, and you're probably going to have to use your discs. And I parry killed them already, dude. I'm ready to move on. Let's go.
Oh, man.
I ran into this one guy who sat there monologuing for like 2 minutes. One shot kill. Bam. Toasted him.
Damn.
Eventually
I approve. This sounds like Assassin's Creed. I'm loving this part.
Well, it's kind of a pain because it makes combat a very trivial inconvenience. It's like, oh, shit, now I have to spend like half a minute just sitting here waiting for these guys to attack to instantly kill them. And then I can finally move on with what I'm trying to fucking do. And then eventually you'll kind of run into guys who have special attacks that can't be parried, but all you have to really do is just stay out of the way until they do an attack that you can parry, and pop goes the wheel, you're ready to move on. There's eventually a mechanic where you can, quote unquote, steal their code, which supposedly infuses your disc with you basically steal their weapon, but nothing about the fighting mechanics change. You still have the same 3-hit combo. You still have your charge attack. It doesn't add anything to the combat. It doesn't, really change the experience in any way, shape, or form. The only reason that I've used it is because when you're doing the animation for the steal, you basically get a bunch of iframes. So if there's like 5 guys cascading their attacks to try to chain stun you, because there is kind of like a stagger mechanic, you can kind of ignore all that shit and then immediately go back to parry countering everybody and their mom.
Yay.
Let's see. Light cycles, and you do ride around on light cycles. They do have like very smooth mechanics, and it's not bad, but this is kind of offset by the fact that the camera tries to lead where you're driving instead of focusing on you as you're driving. So if you zigzag on your bike, that camera is going to be jerking all over the fucking place. And then on top of that, when you're going up against enemy light cycles, they have maneuverability that you don't have. Because like I said, you have a very smooth flowing style of movement, but basically, to put a real cynical spin on that, you have the turning radius of a dump truck on ice. You have a charge that will often cause you to lose control of your bike, especially in like the city where the streets are narrow, there's cars all over the place, and it's easy to start pinballing off shit. And when your light cycle
Mario Kart
like
that bit.
loses all of its health, you get knocked on foot. But the enemy light cycles are able to stop on a dime, hairpin turn, and U-turn at the drop of a hat to avoid your shit.
Yeah.
But that's not really a big issue because the AI is kind of derpy as fuck, and sometimes they will literally kill themselves on their own walls.
DG.
Yeah. And then there's a level with a light jet. I'm going to avoid a 10-minute rant and just say that the light jet sequence feels like a really poorly done minigame. It takes everything that's not cool about the light cycle and magnifies it to 11.
Oh no.
I can't even begin to, like, I'm so glad I was not streaming that level when I played it. Because I would have been so fucking furious. Because you're basically, like, if you ever seen China Legacy, you're kind of like in one of those little flying glider things. And you're basically trying to weave your way through all these canyons with a very static camera that does not employ terrain transparency. So if you go behind a wall, you can't see what the fuck is going on. You see like a silhouette of your plane, but you don't know if that wall is necessarily turning. So you're kind of just using the force to hopefully weave your way through. And if you bounce off a wall, you don't just ding off it. It turns you perpendicular to the wall itself. So basically, if you accidentally scuff a wall, suddenly your plane is 90 degrees to the opposite direction, flying in that direction. And if you're in a bottleneck canyon, you are literally pinballing yourself to death, and there's nothing you can do to fucking fix it. And on top of that, there's enemy planes fucking shooting at you. Other than that,
annoying.
Oh yeah, it's very annoying. Like I said, it took me about like 15 minutes to get through it, because it took me 2 tries before I figured out how the fucking control system worked. But anyways, another thing.
One thing I wanted to ask about on the store page is this mentions the ability to uncover secret areas and shortcuts with a quote unique ability.
Oh, the looping
That's
system?
for you, Aki.
Yeah, I know. I hate you, fucker.
What is the, like, is it worthwhile that you could see secret areas and shortcuts, or is it just kind of like a hyped up thing and it's just basically for story moments?
Well, all right. Well, since I mentioned it, there's the whole time looping thing, and basically what it does is, like, it allows you to reset a level knowing what you know now. As weird as that sounds, like, let's just say that you start going through and you learn something, you get a code for a door, or you gain access to certain information, but you do something that invariably, like, let's say you trigger security and everyone's out for you because the city's on lockdown, you're unable to use that information. So what you have to do is reset your time loop, basically go back to the quote unquote beginning of the level before you did anything, and then utilize that. It's kind of like Groundhog's Day, you know? And I thought, and I was expecting to have some like really interesting puzzles that really employs this looping mechanic where, like, you know, go talk to someone and the guy tells me to fuck off. And it's like, okay, well, I have to figure out how to get this guy to like me. And instead, you know, you go on a little spin thing and figure out like a secret password, and you find out he's a member of this and that, and you go talk to him and you have to go to reset and all that. Instead, the looping basically is the in-game justification of why you respawn after you die, and certain plot points where basically the game will straight up tell you you have to re-loop and do this. And it's a lot more linear than it leads you to believe. Like, I feel, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a Deus Ex mechanic to explain why you don't have to repeat a lot of shit. So basically, you know, you go through, you learn something, you reset. You don't have to do all that shit over again.
That's,
you know,
good,
if you kick a ladder down for a shortcut, it's always down on subsequent playthroughs. So it kind of expedites a lot of stuff too. But there aren't any really compelling puzzles or anything that you really use it for. I mean, you can reset it yourself, but you don't really gain anything from it. You don't really lose anything from it. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
And like I said, the game will either pointedly tell you when you need to loop for the sake of the plot, or there will be an interaction or cutscene where a character will straight up kill you in order to, you know, if you've ever seen Edge of Tomorrow, where a character will intentionally kill you knowing you're going to loop back. So, yeah. I mean, to wrap the whole thing up, it is what I'd call aggressively middling. Like, it seems like there could be a really, really intriguing game, but it doesn't feel like it really reaches the full potential of what it could have. Yeah. Like, the combat could be really interesting, but it's passable. Like, it's not, like, nothing about the game is really bad. It's admittedly, to me, aggravating, but for other people, they might enjoy it.
Well, we got to talk price on it. It clocks in at $24.99. What are your thoughts on Tron Catalyst?
I would say if you're like a super diehard fan, because I will say that the graphics are really nice. I mean, it does really capture the aesthetic of the Tron world. The music's pretty good. But like I said, the game, like, if I was going to rate this on a 1 to 10, it's like the most perfect 5 that you can find. Like, everything is decent, but it's like, I was kind of expecting a little more. I mean, they're bragging about this really cool time looping effect, but they never really bring it to that level that you're kind of expecting. I mean, there's a lot of interesting combat, and if you're used to games, isometric hack and slashers, like Hades is like, one of the popular ones right now. If you're expecting something like that, it doesn't really quite get there. I mean, if you're looking for a really interesting and intriguing story that kind of explores a lot of weird and interesting mythos and stuff, like for example, there's a faction in this game that believes users are a fucking joke, because in every other piece of Tron media, users are almost deified as like godlike entities, and these guys are like, nah, they're a bunch of fucking schmucks. And if you think about it, that's kind of an interesting philosophy for like a program to take, and it would be interesting to see how they came about that and to explore some of those ideologies. But once again, they never really dig into it. It's just there.
Yeah.
So I would say I would give it a tentative try it. Like, if you're a fucking diehard Tron fan who wants all things Tron, I would give it a try.
Probably already have it at this point, really.
Yeah. I mean, I would honestly wait for it to go on sale. I'm not sure if it is on sale for Steam or not, because it just came out, but I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not bad, but the way they kind of prop everything, you're kind of expecting a little more than what they delivered.
Yeah. Well, missed potential is just such a bummer.
Yeah. Because it's not bad, but it's just like, oh man, like you're so close to being really good. If they put just a little bit more into the combat, it'd be really awesome. If they put a little more into the plot, it'd be really awesome. If they put a little more into, you're just on that fucking cusp, man.
If there's any significant updates, we can revisit it in the future. But for now, we got to move on. The next game is Lost in Random, The Eternal Die. Developed by Stormteller Games, published by Thunderful. Released June 17th on Series X and S, Switch, PS5, and PC for $24.99. Take on an ancient evil in Lost in Random, The Eternal Die, a fast-paced action roguelite set in the whimsical world of Random. Play as Queen Alexandra and her die companion, Fortune, as you battle twisted foes, wield powerful relics and abilities, and roll the dice to escape this nightmarish realm. Aki and Bri, both you played this. Aki, start us off. What is Lost in Random, The Eternal Die?
In this, you play as a queen who has been part of a pretty horrific war on behalf, it seems, of some die that was actually secretly an evil little bastard. And you keep throwing things into it to be consumed. And it decides, well, it's going to eat you too, because fuck it, why not? So you're trying to find your way out from this weird, land that is the inside of this thing. And the problem is, most of the people that are in there, you threw in there. So they kind of maybe sort of slightly hate you just a little bit. And the thing about this realm is everyone comes back. So it is a roguelite. And you run through and you try to kill everything and get the fuck up at this bitch. And good luck to you on that, because I haven't managed it yet, and I've played many a playthrough. There's, I think, 4 maps in total? Yeah, 4 maps in total.
All right.
And each one has...
The store page mentions 4 ruthless world bosses, so sounds like that.
Yeah.
And then 30 plus unique enemy types.
God, fuck you. Yeah, I did not count enemy types because I was a bit too busy trying not to be killed by them. Yeah, you end up collecting stuff every playthrough. Most of it gets reset, sadly. you get little things that you can equip to this little board, and they're all color sequenced. Some of them are just little things to create the color, but once you have 3 of them, it clears it out, leaving behind, hopefully, one actual ability there. I don't know if the ability activates the whole time it's on the board or only after you clear the color from it, but basically you have to match 3 of that color in a row to get rid of a color. Some of them have multiple colors on them, and you have to clear out all of the colors. I'm not sure exactly how that works because they didn't fully explain it, so I just try to get rid of all the color because I assume that's what you need to do. But throughout the game, you'll gain little abilities, like one of them might be, every 4th person you kill or 10th person you kill with fortune, you get some health or something. That might be one of them, and it might have 2 colors on it, and you have to clear it, so on and so forth. They're called relics, if I remember correctly.
Relics. Yep.
There's also cards that you can get that have special little powers to them that you can use. I don't really use them. I probably should. It'd probably make the game a little easier, but I'm really bad at remembering they exist. But, they might
know
be...
how many weapons are in the game?
There's 4 or 5 total.
That's correct. The store page says you can wield an arsenal of 4 unique weapons.
You're doing this to piss me off. And you're succeeding, I might add. Yeah, you start off with the queen and her sword, and one of the characters that you can bring into your sanctuary is a forager, and they'll give you access to other weapons that you can buy and then pay to upgrade as well. I think it's a bow, a hammer, and fuck if I know what the last one is anymore, because I've only really used the sword.
My favorite weapon.
Yep.
What's your favorite weapon?
I only use the sword.
I know.
So.
That was like a good one.
I've forgotten.
Bri, let's get you to chime in a bit. The store page mentions a unique dice roll mechanic.
You motherfucker!
Battles in unexpected ways. What's going on with the dice rolls in this?
It's apparently a spear/lance. That's what the other weapon is. Thank you to Horaculite for that.
Yeah, I totally forgot the question. But yeah, you have like
dice rolls.
Dice rolls. Yeah, you have fortune, your die with you. You can use as like an extra attack, and there's. I'm lost in my notes here. You have like temporary skills that you get from those relics. You can buy more permanent upgrades as well. I mean, it's got all the hallmarks of roguelike. There's other things you can do in the game too. Like you're out in the world, you find the missing dicelings. There's some other characters you can bring back. Like you're talking about the Metallic Knight that does the forging and stuff. I'm trying to scan my notes now.
Did I break you completely while I was in the process of breaking Aki?
Absolutely.
This is why you can't have nice things, Joey.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I would call a unique situation.
Mm-hmm.
I will beat you. I just want you to understand. I will beat you.
Who wants to say more about Eternal Die?
Combat felt zippy. You have a dodge dash that will have you zipping all over the place.
Yeah.
You need to learn your enemy's move patterns if you want to be successful at not taking lots of damage. I'd say thankfully most of them are pretty easy to learn. I felt like the controls are really responsive. You have different strategies you can take based on whether you're doing close-up weapons or like using the bow. There's other rooms besides combat, like you'll run into trap rooms. There are spiked floors in some of the fighting rooms and other traps you'll find in the combat rooms as well. And then there's like rooms where you'll just find a character or some dicelings to find, or a merchant where you can buy things for like, upgrading your health or whatever while you're on a run. There's a lot of random in the game. I mean, it's in the name.
What?
I know. The graphics are really pretty. And there's a sculpted clay look to it with like dark purples and grays. It's got a dark fairy tale vibe. Visually full of board game elements like chess pieces and dice. It's a top-down isometric view. I thought they did a good job of preserving the visual style of Random despite making it a different kind of game. Because this really is more of a spin-off than it is a sequel, in my opinion. The story did not have a lot of depth to it in comparison to other games of this type. I think a lot of people have compared the game to Hades, and I see the similarities, but it is its own game. But it does not have the depth of story as something like Hades. I don't know, I had a pretty good time with this, despite the fact that the genre itself intimidates me. Like, I don't think I'm very good at it or have the patience to grind out the levels over and over again after I die, and I do die a lot. I mean, that's part of the name of the game, but yeah.
I think it's interesting to point out that this is the first game from Stormteller Games. They were originally known as Thunderful Gothenburg. So this is their official premiere game, doing the spin-off of Lost in Random.
Wait, run that company name again?
Thunderful Gothenburg. They are now Stormteller Games.
Both of them are a mouthful, but at least this one's easier to say.
I was going to say, not going to lie. I mean, it does roll off the tongue if you can get it.
I think Stormteller is more distinct than Thunderful.
Good use of a different word there, Joe. I appreciate that.
I really totally thought you were going to say unique there.
God damn it, unique.
$25 on Lost in Random, The Eternal Die. What do you two think of it?
I would say the price is good. I would say it's a buy it. I look forward to playing more.
I think it's buy it too. I haven't played the first one yet. I do own it. I haven't played it yet. I really like this. If the first one's anything like this, I think I'm gonna really get into it. I'm just as bad at this as Bri is, though, so it'll be a while before I finish it.
If you're on the fence, it's on Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah. Just buy it. It's worth buying. Don't listen to Joe. Just buy it.
If you want to try it, you could try it.
Yeah, just buy it. Don't try it. Just buy it.
We have to encourage people to check out Game Pass. That's not a situation that's unique to this game. Next up, Grizzly Bear is Hungry, developed and published by Synnergy Circle Games. Released June 25th on Xbox One, Series X and S, and Xbox PC for $4.99 each. Grizzly Bear is Hungry is a 2D platformer with retro pixel art style. Enjoy a casual, simple, and charming adventure where you control a bear with the power to do a powerful rollout, strong enough to defeat enemies and shake trees. Use wisely your power to gather all types of food. I love the wording on that. The more you play, the closer you get to winter. Will you be able to stock up enough food to hibernate without worries? Bri, tell us about Grizzly Bear is Hungry.
So this is the fourth game in the Is Hungry series of games, where we've previously been a raccoon, a possum, and a red panda. Now we are the cutest grizzly there ever was, and like the title suggests, we are hungry. The objective is to eat, but the levels do not have a set amount of food you need to find, like previous games. Instead, we just platform our way through the levels, avoiding spikes, and jumping on moving platforms and things like that. But there's the new mechanic. We can roll. Using the X button, your bear turns into a little rolling menace. Slams into trees to forage for food.
Rolling.
Yep.
What?
That sounds absolutely adorable.
And you can also kill enemies, like little walking mushrooms, with your roll, and are rewarded with a variety of foods. I found mostly apples, but there are also carrots, eggplant, an onion maybe, and peanuts, potatoes. I'm not really sure what that one was. You can also get honey pots from killing the bees. Your bear has 3 health, so if you hit a spike or an enemy, you have extra chances to get through the level. But the main objective is still to just eat. The pixel art was cute. You're in a forest because you're a bear. Some bad stuff. I rolled out of the boundaries more than once and found myself inside the terrain, unable to escape.
Well, you just gotta stop being such a hardcore bear.
Yeah. There were some platforms I jumped on that bounced me, and some enemies that were really hard to kill, like the bees. There were infuriating design choices in platforming, but the achievements were easy.
How easy were they?
Barely an inconvenience.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I think
Joke was Grizzly
I played it
to
twice.
listen to.
Oh, it was. I think I had to get to like level 11 without glitching the game. With the glitch, I actually got a glitch in my favor and was able to do one of the achievements where you have to roll for 4 seconds straight earlier than expected.
Nice.
So, yeah.
All right, $5 verdict.
I'm going to give this a try. I hope they work out their boundary issues. I was happy to see this wasn't a clone of the previous games in the series, but it's got some issues. So it's getting the middle of the road there for me. Like, maybe grab it on sale.
Sounds good. All right, well, that is it for the 3 of you. We are going to take a quick little musical interlude, and one of 2 things will happen. Either I'll be back with Jacob, or the show will end. Either way, thanks to y'all for being here. Aki, you might be there in the second half if that happens.
I will, yeah.
Ian, any final words to wrap this up?
No, not really. Just try not to die of heat exhaustion.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. We have more show to take care of, and Jacob's finally friggin' here. Jacob, how are you doing?
I'm alive, unfortunately.
For now.
Yeah.
For now. I might get lucky later. Who knows?
You won't.
No, I won't. No,
Bri left. She couldn't stand waiting for you, so she left. Ian left.
I mean,
he didn't like you at all anyway, so he left.
That feeling's mutual, so. So
Aki has nothing else to do, so she's here.
That's standard.
Yeah, I'm a loser. It's fine.
Bri has relegated herself to chat, so she is here in spirit, drinking.
Oh.
Cheers.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I forgot that we were streaming, so let me hop in and get my, so I can get my wet pancakes.
How did you forget when we were streaming when, like, I've been talking to people in the audience?
I was talking to my kids, so for all I know, you're just talking to your cats.
You know,
Fair point.
that's fair.
So, Jacob, any news you want to cover before we get started?
No, I literally told you I had no news this week.
Well, I didn't know if maybe you had something. I'm giving you an opportunity to talk.
No, I
I'll
don't.
never do that again. I will
Good.
never let you talk on this show again.
Oh my God, please.
What books did you recommend to the kid who said you're cool?
What? Hold on. What?
Not you.
Rando
I'm
asks,
talking to Bri.
what books did you recommend to the kid who said you're cool?
Yeah, that's a question to Bri, because she said that on Thursday that nephews or something. Ooh, Artemis Fowl books were great.
Peter and the Starcatchers.
I don't know that one either, but I've read a bunch of the Artemis Fowl books. I love those. As an adult, I still actually fairly like those. Those are cute little books.
That's because you're Aki foul. We got 5 games to talk about with Jacob. Let's kick into these. Ruffy and the Riverside, developed by Zockrates Laboratories, developed by Phiphen Games, released June 26th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC for $19.99. In Ruffy and the Riverside, you wield the magic swap to copy and paste textures, turn ice into lava or waterfalls into vines, explore, fight, skate on straw bales, and unleash your imagination in this quirky open-world action game. Dive into an adventure that lets you literally change the world. Jacob, what is Ruffy and the Riverside?
So Ruffy and the Riverside is a very interesting, like the art style for the characters is kind of like a 2D style, but it's set in a 3D world. And it has very Banjo-Kazooie Mario 64 vibes going for it. And you play as this bear named Ruffy, who is called because, long ago it was not exactly prophesied, but like your dad promised that, like this guy would be able to train you to be able to save the world when the time came. And guess what?
It came?
It finally came. And so you now have, no, not that kind of came.
No,
so
I was just going, I wasn't going.
Yeah, I know. I know you what kind of you were going with. Anyway.
I knew you'd come.
I find it a little disturbing that you have a sound ready for that.
Matt Hardy. Wrestling clip. Come on, pervert.
Okay. Anyway, so you have the ability. I mean, not only could you like walk around and punch stuff, but you also have this swapping ability, which originally just in the town that you're living in, you were using it to swap art for people. People would take their canvases and be like, I want like a nice flowery picture this week, or I want a picture of the moon. And like, so you just swap existing art onto their thing and, send them away. Well, now you're going to get trained to be able to use it for all sorts of other stuff. And that includes being able to solve puzzles and defeat bosses by swapping out the textures. And it could be something like, this gigantic guy is attacking you, but you have to look around to see like what kind of textures you have. And there's a rock over there. I'm going to use the rock texture. And that thing is now a rock and can't move. So you get that kind of idea with it. And the game does start small. There are little side quests that you can find all over the place, because there is a lot of people to talk to throughout this. And this is a super charming game. I loved looking at it, and I loved it. Honestly, it's just a joy. It is such a good throwback. I will say this, that the little swapping thing is a little... It would help if I knew what texture I was supposed to use for some stuff, or if it was just like there was only going to be like a limited kind of textures available. But yeah, like there are times where it can get real tricky trying to figure out what the heck the next move is. And the compass that the game has is not particularly great, but like thankfully the game world is small enough and there's plenty to explore that it's not so big of a deal. But yeah, I was having a ton of fun with this game. Like it, as I said, it's super cute. It took me forever to figure out that he's actually a bear. Cause he kind of looks like an Ewok or just like a Sasquatch looking thing. And it was until dialogue that they're like, oh yes, you and your bear kind. Like, oh, okay, he's a bear. But yeah, like you should check this game out. Like it's a lot of fun. And honestly, like it's age appropriate for my kids, so I'm hoping that they'll get into it. They're still kind of addicted to Minecraft, but this is definitely an adventure for all ages, and I really think that you should check this one out.
All right, well, it clocks in at $19.99. What are your thoughts on Ruffy and
Totally
Riverside?
Totally worth it. This is one of my favorite titles this summer. Like, so don't sleep on this one. This is one you should be checking out.
All right, next up, Soulstone Survivors, developed by Gamesmithing, published by Digital Bandidos, released June 17th on Series X and S, PS5, and PC for $14.99. Soulstone Survivors is a fast-paced action roguelite that thrusts you into epic battles against relentless hordes and colossal bosses. Harness the power of the void to craft unique builds, unlock powerful weapons, and push your characters to new heights, all in pursuit of godlike abilities. Jacob, what's Soulstone Survivors?
So Soulstone Survivors is obviously out of like the Survivors-ish genre, whatever you want to call it. I will say this, it does have a more of a, the perspective reminded me more of like a real-time strategy thing, like you'd see like on Command and Conquer and StarCraft. And Lord knows that your character repeats lines enough that it might as like, I was half expecting him to be like, you must construct additional pylons. Like it repeats the dialogue enough. But yeah, so you start off with this barbarian character, and the prologue, which I believe is skippable, informs that like all of these warriors have been woken up because they're ready to take on this big bad guy, and like the mage opens up the portal, and then you go through, but nobody else is there. Where did everyone else go? Oh my god! But
hey, kids,
you need to kick ass and take names, so you start doing that, and then you get killed. And then you find yourself back at the starting point with like no powers. And my oldest son was watching this, and he was just like, I really hope that this isn't going to be like that Kong Skull Island game.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Like that game has stuck in my kid's brain as just like, oh God, no. Like, but don't worry. It is definitely not like that.
That's what you did to your child. You've scarred them for life.
Yeah, by playing the Kong Skull Island game around him. Of all the games, I would suspect my kid to have to go to therapy over. I didn't think it would be that one. But so yeah, so you start anew, and you only have that barbarian guy, and you only get one map. And you have to start, rebuilding everything, all of your powers, all of like the weapons that you wield. And it does give you a lot of options. Like there is permanent skill trees for your guy, but you can also level up different classes as you earn them. And like there's barbarian, there's like a fire one, there is an kind of like an ice guy. There is a guy who specializes in like it's not arrows, but it's kind of like a long rifle kind of thing, like 1700s rifle. The one I want is this dwarf looking guy that he runs around with like a minigun. I want this guy so bad. It's like you have to kill 700 of these bosses just to earn him. So I'm really looking forward whenever I get around to that, but that will be a while. But thankfully there is a ton of replayability in this game, which is kind of necessary because you will be dying a lot.
Yeah, it looks like one of those kinds of games where you die a lot.
Yeah, it really is, but it's okay because you're pretty much back in the action, like surprisingly quick with it. And even if you beat a level, like the first level only took about, I want to say I got it done in 2 runs, like it took 2 tries. And the second try I beat the whole thing in like 8 minutes. Or just over 8 minutes, because I think there is an achievement for under 8 minutes. But anywho, but yeah, so even then, that class will get leveled up. And if you want to try out new ones, then you're going to be kind of stuck if you haven't been upgrading like the main skill tree for everybody. So there are things that will apply to everyone, and some stuff that will only apply to certain classes. But yeah, like it's a ton of fun if you can get past like the repetitive dialogue, which really isn't that bad. It's just like not much is being said, and if you're leveling up quickly, you're going to hear like a lot of catchphrases that repeat a lot. But
Yeah.
I was having a lot of fun with this, and what's kind of cool is that you can actually set up your powers. So if you want to play this two-handed or one-handed, you can do either one. Like, there's a lot of powers that will just randomly target enemies, or it's just like around your character enough. But if you want to have ones that target specific people, then you can use your right stick if you want to. Otherwise, you could just run around with the left stick the whole entire time. But yeah, I'm having a blast with this thing. This is it's going to be sticking around on my Xbox for a long time.
Awesome. $15. Give us your verdict.
Totally. Absolutely worth it for 15.
All right. We got some tiny ones to wrap up the show. Next up is Infernitos Fiery Dishes. Developed by Heavy Sheep, published by AFIL Games, released June 26th. Xbox One, Series X, Okay, I give up. I'm done. I quit. I'm done. I'm out. Series X and S and Xbox PC for $4.99 each. Get ready. Why can't I talk today? Get your pans ready. Push the plates and serve the hungriest customers in hell. In Infernitos Fiery Dishes, you once again embody the feared demon chef, now with even more spice and much more infernal confusion. Aki and Jacob, both of you covered this. Aki, you start us off. What's Infernitos Fiery Dishes?
Okay, in this, you play as a demon chef, and you're serving the other devil's food. And you do that by walking into a plate of food and kicking it across the ground like it's covered in fucking ice. Because in hell, I guess there is no food safety or anyone else, even though I always thought that was supposed to be hell. Who knows? So yeah, you kick the plates around on the floor, and they go flying as though it's covered in ice. And you're trying to get it onto a table. And you have to do that by sliding the food around to where it lands directly where the table is. If there's a spot behind it, it will shoot right past the table, not giving a flying fuck. It's kind of funny that you're trying to serve other demons and devils instead of fucking with them by kicking it past the table. But yeah, so you end up having to do that, and I think it's 40 levels in total, I believe is what it is.
Store page says 30.
30, okay. I knew it was some number that was above 0, and that was good enough for me.
Good job, Aki.
So
Jacob, how far did you get?
Not very. I've never been good at the Infernitos titles.
I 100%ed all 3 of the versions.
Yeah,
Proud of you.
like this is one of the harder Sokoban ones that they do.
Fair. I didn't think it was particularly hard. Interesting.
Jacob, what are your thoughts on this one? Chime in with some details.
I don't know. Like, I think it's kind of like I played the first one, and I like how you have to mix up everything to like create the different dishes, but making sure that they land in the proper spot. Otherwise, the dishes go flying off is a pain in the butt, because then it adds like, I mean, some people might like it. I think it's a pain in the butt, but it does add an extra layer to the puzzle. So if you thought Sokoban couldn't be infuriating enough, you know, then maybe this is the title for you. But I don't know. It's not the kind of challenge that I'm looking for.
I will say you said the word that needed to be said, and that's Sokoban. So $5, give me your verdict.
If you like Sokoban, which God bless you for whatever reason that you do, I don't think it's a bad title. It's not my bag.
I'm all for it if you like simple, easy puzzles. These are really easy. The achievements are really easy. This is straight up made for achievement hunters.
This is really easy.
You just have to have an
Shut
IQ
up,
above room temperature, unlike
What?
Jacob, and you'll be fine.
Excuse me, it's hot in summertime, so my room temperature is like 80 degrees. Thank you very much.
Sure. Yeah. So
All right.
no, I think it's really worth it. I like it. I like Sokoban though, so I'm
Cool.
I'd give it a
Beans.
try.
Next up, Bee Flowers Save the Garden, developed and published by AFIL Games, released June 24th, Xbox One, Series X and S, Xbox PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, $4.99 each. In the third chapter of Bee Flowers series, you'll guide bees through stunning environments while solving logic puzzles on a hexagonal grid. The goal is simple: connect paths to deliver pollen to the flowers. The gameplay is accessible, but the challenges increase as you progress. Jacob and Aki, both you covered this. Who wants to start?
I can. It's easy.
Go for it.
So this one's another easy game to beat, unless maybe you're Jacob, in which case, who knows?
These games are not hard to beat. Thank you very much.
Okay. And in this, you're basically creating a little pathway on a hexagonal grid to lead a bee through flowers and to beehives, basically. And you can rotate the pieces, you can switch them with other pieces, etc., etc. However, there are places where some items can't be moved, like usually places with flowers, and obviously the hives and the bee starting point, none of those can be moved, but all the other pieces can. There's some open spaces that you can't put stuff in to make it a little more difficult, and by little I mean it exists in difficulty, I guess, somewhere.
Poor Acolyte's calling shots on you.
Who? Me? On me? Hey, I haven't... Poor Acolyte talking about how I haven't finished Eternal Die. Yet. Keyword yet. I am currently working on Doom, the Dark Ages, okay? Once I'm done, maybe I'll get back to the Eternal Die. I never said that game was hard. Bri had trouble with that game, not me. Nah. Anyways, back to the B game. So yeah, you're trying to create a pathway, and once you do, you get to try it out and see if it actually works, or if you're a dum-dum, by sending the bee off. If the bee can't find their way back, to a hive, they will suddenly get confused and game will be over because you failed, and you'll have to reset and try that level again. Or if a bee slams into another bee in later levels when there's multiple bees. So yeah, it's a fun little quick game. Also very easy. Let's hand it over to Jacob.
Jacob, say something stupid.
Stupid.
Good.
I agree, you are. Yes.
Okay, tell us stuff.
I don't mind these games. I mean, it's pretty easy text swapping or tile swapping game, and if you've played the others, then you know exactly what you're getting into. They're fine. They're relaxing. I wish they would like switch up music tracks in these games, but you can also turn off the sound or just mute your TV. Either one. But like, yeah, they're simple and fun. I like them.
All right, $5 each. What do you think?
Yeah, $5. It's worth it.
Again, another really simple game for achievement hunters or little kids. I am very much for it.
All right. One final game to wrap up the show tonight is Paperbad, developed and published by Entity 3 Limited. Released June 26th, Xbox One, Series X and S, and PC for $2.99. Get ready for a wild ride in Paperbad, the ultimate arcade-style destruction game where the goal isn't delivering newspapers, it's causing as much mayhem as possible. Smash windows, dent cars, startle pedestrians, and unleash total chaos as you hurl newspapers across a variety of quirky neighborhoods. Jacob, what's Paperbad?
So Paperbad is this first-person game where you're playing this Paperboy who is just trying to cause as much destruction as you possibly can through all of these levels. I don't know that it's actually possible to fail the game at all. I never did, but as you keep going through, you earn points which can be used to upgrade what you're throwing. So you could change it to like a banana, you could change it to a stick of dynamite, and the dynamite will cause way more destruction. You could change what you're riding around in. I always chose the shopping cart. And you could also choose like your character's skin. Now, granted, it's limited because it's based on whatever is actually around in the game. But, you know, for as dumb as this game is, because it's just the same crap over and over and over and over and over again. Like, it is supremely entertaining, especially when you've upgraded all of your stats, so you're just like chucking sticks of dynamite like as quickly as you possibly can, and you're knocking everybody over, and you're blowing up all the windows, and like you're toppling over like statues and stuff like that. Yeah, like there's really not much to it. Like the game does try to break it up with kind of like boss fights. Like they're not really though, but essentially what happens at the end of like every like 10 rounds or so, the townspeople will chase you out of the town, and so like you're trying to cause like your last minute destruction and tossing like papers or dynamite or bananas or whatever back towards the town, and also knock out the people who are chasing you. And then there's also like little targeting mini games, like you'd have to like pop all the balloons in like 20 seconds or something like that. So they do break up stuff between the levels. Is this a good game? No. Is it a fun game? Yeah. Like if you're there for the destruction, you're going to have a blast. If you're looking for anything meaningful, like look elsewhere, because you're not going to get it out of this. But this is entertaining. Like, I thought it was entertaining for what it was.
Cool. It's $3. What's your verdict?
Yeah, $3. I have spent way worse on $3. Like, it's an easy 1,000 achievement points. The devs are working on a thing because I did have issues with what I thought was an achievement not tracking, but it's because you're supposed to throw the papers, not straight dynamite at windows and stuff like that to get the achievement. But the devs did say that they were going to fix it later on. So, you know, even then, like that achievement is still not hard to attain as long as like you know how to aim. So, yeah, I enjoyed it.
Cool. Sounds good. Well, we are done with this show.
Yeah,
made it through. Thanks to you two for being here for the end. Big thanks to Bri and Ian for coming on for the first half of the show. I want your opinion on something. If somebody has a history of being a complete drama queen asshole and they pop up out of nowhere, do you want them in your life or no?
How long?
Please don't kick me out of the group.
Oh, not you. No, not you.
Oh, okay.
Damn it. I thought we were finally going to get rid of Aki.
Nope.
Me?
No. Come on. A serious answer. If someone has a history of being a dramatic drama queen asshole trouble starter, do you want them in our lives?
Not really.
Probably not.
Too much effort.
Like, do I know this person?
Aki does.
Aki does.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Wait,
right,
hold on.
Stagorilla, you're fucking banned. I don't want you in my chat. I don't want you around here. Stay the fuck away, Stagorilla. We are ending this show. We ended with Paper Bad, so we're going to shift things up and go with Paperboy from the OneUps. You know why we're going with that?
I suggested it earlier?
Because I made that picture.
Oh, fair.
Yeah. Yay.
Okay.
Does anyone have any final words to end the show?
No.
Oh, Horror Acolyte said something that would have been great because it delivers. That's perfect.